Hi guys, welcome back to another program on A1 Driving Academy. Thank you for taking part in today. My name is Zaf. On today's program we're going to talk about another routine that we apply to our day-to-day driving. The routine that we're going to talk about today is P.O.M routine, and the initials for P.O.M is P.O.M. And what P.O.M stands for is prepare, observe and move. You know, you go into work, you have your bank card or your car keys, your wallet, everything you need to take for work, you would have it prepared the night before, so you're not waking up in the morning and looking around for it. Am I right in saying? Same principle applies with prepare. So when you're preparing the car, you're preparing in terms of getting the car ready for when you need to move. So when you need to move, you're just moving, you're not preparing the car, if that makes sense. So let's talk a bit about that in detail. So when you're preparing your car, the first thing you do is you put your clutch down. So clutch pedal all the way to the ground. With the palm of your left hand, you're selecting gear 1. Okay. So the reason why I say with the palm of your left hand is because we never want to cover the top of the gear stick. Now, by covering the top of the gear stick, by doing so, you're risking going into another gear. I.e., if you're trying to go into gear 1, there's a possibility you might go into gear 3 by placing the palm on top of the gear stick. Whereas if you've got the palm on the side of the gear stick, you're pushing it as far as you can to the left, to the end, to the brackets. So therefore, you know at this point, by pushing it, by going up, I'm not risking going into gear 3, if that makes sense. So all you're doing is minimizing the risk of going into the wrong gear. So a tip for you guys out there who are struggling with gears, if anyone does need any help with gears, please comment below or question below or contact us on the contact details, and we're more than happy to go through that with you and accommodate. Okay, so going back to prepare, so we prepare our car by getting the car ready in gear. Okay, so we get the car ready in gear. We have our biting point ready. We have our foot. We call this set the gas. And what that is having our right foot covering the gas pedal, ready to press. So we're not necessarily pressing the gas at this point, but we've just got it there covering, so when we need to, there's no delay, we can just press. If you look at a steering wheel, the face of a clock, you've got 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So if you position more like, say, about 2 o'clock positioned. So once you've got to that point, you're now prepared to move off. Okay, so the next letter we're going to move on to is observe. Talking about observe, we have 7 area check before we move off after preparing our car. So we've established we've prepared our car. We now need to do safety checks to see is it safe in order for us to move off at this point, being parked up on the left. So what we would do is first and foremost, we'll check our center mirror. Now, in the center mirror, if it is not clear and there is movement, what I mean by movement, you've got a vehicle coming towards you, you've got pedestrians walking behind you, there's some sort of activity going on, strongly advise wait. If anything, as a safety measure, you should wait. Okay, so until that center mirror you're looking into is not clear, until it is completely still, no movement, no activity going on, we then move on to the next stage on the observation part, which is the left shoulder blind spot. So straight from the center mirror, you move over to the left shoulder. Okay, now the reason why you check left shoulder, if you had a pedestrian walking up from behind the car wanting to cross at an angle, so these areas are very important to check, taken into account. So we start with the left shoulder blind spot, moving on to the left mirror, center mirror again, recheck to see if it's still clear from the road behind, situation hasn't changed. We then check the road ahead. Now the reason why we check the road ahead, because that's the direction we're going. So we want to make sure the direction we're going is also clear. So we're not just taking into account what's coming from behind or alongside us. We also want to make sure that the road that we're intending to head towards, that is also clear, no obstructions, no cars parked up on the left hand side. If there is, then what do we need to do? Do we need to hold back? Is it our right of way? Do we give way at this point? Where do we hold back? What mirrors, what signal do we check? So you're taking all these things into account when you're looking and observing ahead. The other thing is you may have a vehicle oncoming towards you. So you may have an oncoming vehicle wanting to park in front of you, pulling up on the right hand side. For them, it's the right hand side, wanting to pull up in front of you. So these are the things that you've got to take into account. Then moving on to the right hand mirror, checking the right mirror, and then finally checking the right shoulder blind spot. Now what we've done here is we've gone from least danger to most danger. Now, for those individuals that don't understand that, I'll break that down for you. The most danger part would be the right hand side of the car, purely because that's the side the road is on, and that's the direction you're going. Whereas the left hand side is the least danger. I mean, it is important to take into account, but it's the least danger comparison to the right. Now, let's switch it around. So if this time we were parked on the left hand side and we started with the left shoulder with the least danger to the most danger. However, this time we're going to be parked on the right. Now, because if you guys imagine, if you check the most dangerous side first, by the time you go to the least dangerous side, situation could change. A vehicle, pedestrian, cyclist, anything could turn on. So it's very important for when you do your check, last minute checks, for when you do your final most danger check area, from that point to when you move, there should not be any delays. If there is, we need to go back to observation, redo it again, and then go when it's safe to do so. So guys, that's your observation. Now moving on to the M part, which is the most easy one, move. Okay, which obviously requires your clutch and acceleration and progress and moving on. So that is your P.O.M routine: prepare, observe, and move. Very important to prepare your car first. Observe. We spoke about the areas you check, the least danger to most danger, and what areas to check. So if you're parked on the left, what would be required of us? If we're parked on the right, and why would we parked on the right, and what would be required of us? So we've gone through all of that, so I hope that that's benefited you guys out there. For those individuals that haven't gone for their tests yet, pulling up on the left and the right, this will benefit you guys. So go over it a few times, this video, if you need to. If there's any questions that you guys have in regards to this routine or anything else, please comment below or send me a message or contact us.